Guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about the AAPC exam, online or in person. If you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue, I'm a medical coder. Okay guys, so we're talking about the differences today between going in person to take your AAPC exam or going online to take your AAPC exam. Now this is only for AAPC. I am not talking about a HEMA, all right? I'm not talking about a HEMA today. And also this, I am with a HEMA. I am certified 100% with a HEMA. This information is coming directly from the AAPC website. The only reason that I am addressing it here is because I've been getting questions about this. Well, which one's better? Should I take it online or should I take it in person? Which way should I go, Blue? So we're going to talk about the differences in going in person versus online. And but I've always said this. My own personal opinion is I would rather go physically to a place because I do not want to mess this up in any way. And if anything happens, it's going to be on the testing center. It's not going to be on me, okay? So that's just my own personal opinion about it. You may feel differently. And for some people, well, they say, well, Blue, in my local area, they don't have a lot of proctored exams, or they had the last one, 2 weeks ago and I wasn't ready. And so I'm thinking about doing the online version. You can do the online version. I will say this though. The online versions are proctored through Examity. And now Examity is a testing vendor, right, basically. And these, the people that run it, they're from overseas, okay? So sometimes they speak a little bit faster. If you need them to slow down so that you can understand what they're trying to say, they will repeat themselves. So that's something that you got to know, okay? They are from overseas. And again, sometimes you may have to ask them to repeat themselves, okay? But just so you know that that's part of taking the test at home. So let's start off with that. And again, I will leave the link for this in the description box below. So if you decide, well, they do have some testing sites on site, but I'm thinking about maybe going online to take my test. So here's the differences between the two. All right, so for electronic exams, our electronic exam is a 4-hour live remote proctored examination completed in one sitting and proctored by Examity. After purchasing or transferring your current exam voucher, you will receive a notice to schedule with our partner, Major Learning, formerly Scantron, and will be able to schedule your exam for the date and time convenient for you. On the date of the exam, you will log into your Major Learning account, then connect with your Examity proctor to complete the security check and take your exam. Your results will be posted within 7 to 10 business days from the date you complete your exam. And then it says the electronic exams taken outside of the U.S. will be proctored at a local testing center. Please refer to the testing center FAQs or ask your career counselor for more information. So equipment required: reliable internet, and they mean that, reliable internet connection, and an external webcam that can be positioned to show your face, hands, keyboard, and an area around the keyboard about 10 inches. So what they mean is, this is mine, okay? This is just an example, all right? If you have a different kind of external webcam, this is an external webcam. This is what they mean when they say external webcam. It is not the webcam that it comes with your computer. You cannot use that. You cannot use that. You have to use an external webcam. Now, this is just the one, this was like $35 on Amazon. It's a little cheapy thing, okay? And basically you position it where they can see your hands, your face, and like the computer screen. And basically they said, what, 10 inches, around 10 inches. So this is what they mean when they say external webcam. You have to have this. If you do not have this, you will forfeit your exam fee. So make sure that you have an external webcam so that they can see you, because they will not accept the webcam that's installed into your computer, okay? Just so you know. So the location, taken at home in a quiet, private location. So you do have to have a door that is able to be closed. You need to be in a room, so that way they can know that that area is secure and that you're not going to be, saying or sneaking anything in. They need to be able to see that, because they will ask you to do like a whole thing around your room so they can see what's in the room. So just make sure that you understand that, all right? The format is 100 multiple choice questions delivered in one sitting. The total time allotted is 4 hours. The proctor to examinee ratio is 1 to 2. So that means that they may be watching you and they may be watching somebody else, okay? So just so you know that. Cancellation fee. No cancellation fee is charged if canceled 24 hours in advance. Reschedule fee. No fee is charged if rescheduled 24 hours in advance. No-show fee. If you do not show up to your scheduled exam, or you do not meet the requirements to take the exam, your exam voucher will be canceled. You will need to purchase a new voucher in order to take the exam, okay? So that's just so you know that, all right? But that's what that is when you're taking your test at home, all right? And you have to have a clear desk space. There can't be nothing around, okay? And you have to be able to show, like, everything around your room. You have to be able to show, like, your ID and stuff, and, you know, be able to prove who you are and things. So that's just something that you got to know, and all the rest of the information is online. But again, as I said, Examity is people that are from overseas. If you need them to slow down when they're speaking, just ask them, and they'll slow down and they'll repeat themselves again, okay? I've had experiences with Examity before, and they're from everywhere, from all overseas. There are some from the Philippines and some from India, you know. So, I mean, it really all depends when you're taking your exam, you know, who you're going to get, and they will be there, and they're very professional. So don't worry about all that, but just make sure that you have your external webcam, okay? Don't get caught without it, all right? Now for the in-person exams. When you register for the CPC exam, you will be given detailed instructions on where the test will be taken, what time you should arrive, and what you need to bring. You should arrive at your exam location 30 minutes early. Be sure to bring all necessary items, the photo ID, number 2 pencils, an eraser, code books, etc., and listen carefully as the proctor provides instructions. You will then have the chance to ask any questions. If you are confused or concerned about anything, it's important to clarify. After all, someone else may be wondering the same thing. So the location, local chapter or licensed instructor site. The exam format is 100 multiple choice questions. Time allotted is 4 hours. Proctor to examinee ratio is 1 to 25. So there may be up to 25 people that one proctor is working with, okay? So if it's a big group, there's going to be more than one proctor, all right? Cancellation fee must be canceled 21 days prior to the exam date. The service charge is $100. The reschedule fee must be canceled 21 days prior to exam date. Service charge of $100. No-show fee is $100, okay? So they are not fooling around, all right? And when you are going in person to a place, I always recommend to know where you are going. If you have to take a little drive there a couple days beforehand so you know exactly where you're going, that's totally fine, because I would rather know exactly where I have to go so that I'm not lost and confused on the day of. I want the day of my examination to be as relaxed as possible. I do not want to have any other worries on my mind other than I'm there to take my exam and I'm ready to rock and roll. That's what I want to have, and that's what I would suggest to anybody, okay? Don't make things so hard on yourself. There's been people who have asked me before, Blue, should I go in person or should I take it online? And when I suggested to take it in person, because they kept asking me the same question, so I said finally, okay, take it in person. Well, no, I'm going to take it online. Well, then what happened? The person got all freaked out because they couldn't understand the proctor, and they were all nervous and everything, and that's why they're blaming it on that they failed. No, you were not prepared. That's the problem. It had nothing to do with the proctor. And as I've said, the people who work on Examity, they're professional. They will repeat themselves if you ask them to, okay? As I said, they're from overseas and they speak a little fast. So if you need them to slow down, they will do it. But this person clearly didn't listen to me, didn't listen to the proctor. So Don't blame other people. If you find yourself in a sticky situation like, oh, well, I thought it was going to be easier if I did it at home, and, I was all nervous and everything because of the proctor. No, it has nothing to do with the proctor. It has everything to do with you and your preparation for this exam. It's 100% the way that it is. As I said, I'm not speaking about AHEMA, but AHEMA has theirs in. You have to go to Pearson VUE to be able to sit for their exams. And to me, it's always better to go to a place that you have to physically go, because if anything happens, it's on the testing site center. To be like, oh, okay, well, our power went out, so we have to bring them back, or whatever. So that to me is a lot better than me having to worry about the setup and having to worry about all of these things, and what if the power goes out. I don't want to have to worry about all that. I want to have like, okay, this is where I got to go. This is where I'm showing up on that day of. I got my books and I'm ready to rock and roll, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But yeah, a lot of times people will overthink these things. If you are living in a rural area and it's just easier for you, if you take your test at home and you've got reliable internet, that is totally fine. If it is inclement weather out and you're saying, well, Blue, I live up in New England states and it's starting to snow over here and I just don't want to chance those roads. I don't blame you. I would be taking it at home too. That I understand. I totally get it. If you want to do it that way, that's okay. It's understandable. But when you're taking these tests, and whether you're taking it at home or whether you're taking it in person, there's going to be a lot of things that may be running through your mind as you're going through this test. But you have to think about it like you're not going to take this test every single day, right? These are things that happen, right, in life. You got to be able to take these tests. So be present with your test. There's a lot of people who say, well, I couldn't concentrate because I had all these people around me and they were making all kinds of... No, that has nothing to do with it. It's you that you got to make sure that you can filter all of that out and pay attention to what you're doing. Because people who look for excuses, oh, well, I didn't pass because of XYZ. No, if you were preparing yourself and going through the workbooks like I recommend to y'all all the time, and this doesn't matter if we're taking an Aapc exam or an AHEMA exam, I tell y'all all the time, work through those workbooks. And then I still get the same thing of, well, how many hours have you been working out on your coding? Well, honestly, I know I'm about to hear a lie. Oh, well, honestly, maybe 4 hours a week? No. No, ma'am, no, sir. You need 20 hours to prepare yourself. Because a person who's had 20 hours per week for 3 months, right? If you're going to take 90 days to prepare yourself, and you've been doing this for 3 months, the 20 hours per week, that's a heck of a lot better than the person who's only been barely eking by at 4 hours a week. Okay? You're going to be so well prepared at 20 hours per week, and you're going to go in there like, okay, I got this. We can do this. I've been practicing with my books. I know where everything is. I've got all these things down. I feel confident with what I'm doing. I'm going to ace this exam. I'm going to do really great. Because remember, at the end of the day, it is 100 questions. You need a 70 to pass. You need a 70 to pass. And a pass is a pass is a pass. Yes. Will we all love to really know what we're doing when we take these exams? Of course. However, a lot of this knowledge is going to be gained when you get out in the real world and you're out there actually coding. It's going to make even more sense. The guidelines are going to make sense, and the coding rules will make even more sense, because then you'll have practical application for it to make more sense. So just think about those things, guys. And, try not to get all spun up about all these details and everything. Go in there, and whether you're going in person or whether you're going online, concentrate on what you have in front of you, all right? If you are doing this at home and you're in your closed room, right, make sure beforehand that the air conditioning or the heater is at a good temperature that you like, okay? Because that has happened to me before too, where it got too cold for me because it was during the summer and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's so hot. So I turned up the air conditioning. Well, you sit for a little bit and all of a sudden you start to cool off, and it was misery until I finished my test at home. So it wasn't for medical coding, but it was with Examity, and it was just like, it was very miserable because I was so cold because I had cranked the air conditioning too low. So make sure that when you are setting up the area, that everything is clean in your area that you're gonna be taking, right? They're gonna ask you if the TV is off. If you have a TV in that room, is the TV off? Are all the doors closed? They're gonna look, okay? When you show them around your room, they're gonna look and they're gonna see where everything is at, okay? So make sure there's not anything on your desk. Your desk has to be clear, all right? And there can't be all this kerfuffle everywhere. Make sure that everything is cleared off, all right? So that way they can see that you're working in a clean workspace and that you are doing the test and there will not be a question about what's happening, or, is there anything else going on, right? So just make sure you know that, guys. It's tests can be nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie, of course. Tests are always nerve-wracking, right? But the more prepared that we are before we go in, the more we can face these with more confidence, all right? And you will be confident, and you will be able to do all the things that you want to be able to do, as long as you focus. Forget about all these external factors. You leave all of that stuff at the door, okay? And as I've said before, when I took a test for my CCS, I left my keys to my beautiful baby, my beautiful car. I love my car. I drive a sports car, and her name is Sasha. I have named her, yes. And I left my keys because I was so excited about the test. Of course you feel nerves, right? But I was more thinking about the test that I left my keys on the check-in desk. And I didn't realize it until I got into the room. But I say this to say that I said to myself in that moment that I realized, uh-oh, I left my keys. I said, you know what? That's okay. Whatever happens, she's insured. I can always call a taxi and get a ride home, or call a friend. I'll be fine. I just need to get to this test. So I left all that, at the door. I said, you know what? Forget it. I could stop the test, but then I'm hurting myself, because that's time. That's precious time that is going to be wasted if I take those few minutes. Because remember, when I took my CCS, I had 8 minutes left on the clock. So I'm just saying, it's different. But, if you think about that, right? If you think about that, and whether you are going in person or whether you're going, online at home, if you have anything that pops into your mind like that, you need to just put it at the door and say, focus on what you got, because that's all you can do at that moment. That problem, that issue will still be there when you get out of that exam room in 4 hours. Okay, it will still be there. And oh yes, my keys were there, and people were laughing. They go, "Oh, you left your keys right here." And I go, I knew it as soon as I got in there. And they go, "Don't worry, we took care of them for you." And they did. They secured my keys, and they knew, And so I was just like, okay, but and when I told that story before, somebody said, "You were willing to sacrifice your car for that test." That's how focused I was. And now I love my car. I will do everything for my car. But at that moment, it was the test. The test was the most important thing to me. And so that's what happened. So, but anyway, that's all I have for today. But again, if you're going to take your test, prepare yourself and know where you're going, so that way you can be familiar and be comfortable with, okay, I know where I've got to go, and I'm not going to get lost when I go there. If I'm going in person, if I'm at home, I know I'm going to have a clear desk. I'm not going to have anything on my desk at all. And I know I'm going to have my external webcam, so that way I can have all of the equipment that I need. I have reliable internet, and I can position my webcam so that they can see my hands, the keyboard, the monitor, and everything else. So, just so you know, that's what you got to do. So with that said, best of luck to you if you're going to be taking your exam, your AAPC exam, or even if you're taking an AHEMA exam. Best of luck to you. Make sure that you Get some rest before you take your test. Don't cram at the last minute. There's a very small percentage of the population who can do very well by cramming at the last minute for a test, but the vast majority of us do not do well. So make sure that you get yourself plenty of rest. You're not going to learn anything new in the 2 to 3 days prior to your exam. So I always recommend taking a few days off for yourself to enjoy and to relax and know that, you know, what happens is going to happen. And however prepared you are is going to show on that exam day. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.